Leeds United 0, Manchester United 0, Leeds. That wasn't great, but I'm here with Stephen Howson. We're going to have a talk about it. How did you think the game went overall?
What a fucking palm of a question. Steve, so talk me through what you just saw.
Talk me through
what you just saw.
Shite.
Oh, it was gash.
Boring, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was boring. Do you know what it was? I mentioned in the preview, I thought there would be some sort of a reaction from Bielsa. Didn't think it'd be part of the bastard bus. And to be fair, it wasn't your Burnley style of parking the bus. It was still there were still gaps.
Yep, there was.
They defended the box extremely well, though. Knowing that there's still gaps that they create. We had a lot of shots. There were a lot of shots on target. I think they'll be pretty happy with that.
Yep.
I didn't see the point of not starting Cavani because I really thought he was exactly the sort of movement you need to create the gaps. Paul Pogba, I can understand, especially if he's fasting, the intensity of that game against Leeds might have been a bit too much. Like, we've got players that are fasting, they've got 40 minutes or so in them, and they're absolutely dead on their feet. So I can't imagine the difficulty that is. So I would say I can understand at least. Maybe not Pogba, but you've still got Donny van de Beek. You've still got creative players in there that could have been an option. So I would say I think Ollie got the team selection wrong today.
But do you think that team selection was a bit more leaning towards the Leeds United we played last time? Do you think he went, look, this front five or whatever we had, I think we started with Martial over Mason Greenwood, but it's pretty much the same attacking threat that we started against Leeds last time. Do you think he's gone, it worked last time? They don't usually change. Leeds usually just stick to the guns, don't they? So maybe he's just gone.
They've done all right lately. They've nicked a draw against City, nicked a draw against Liverpool. They've become a little bit meaner.
Yep.
And I think maybe that's something that we could have anticipated. I was talking Pogba in the preview because I know that once you get through that initial pressure, you're going to need something to unlock him. And I thought someone that can control the ball and take the ball under pressure. United seems to do it differently today, though. He obviously looked at the same situation, come up with a different solution. The solution was for let Harry Maguire drive into midfield to create that overload. Instead of playing through the press, fucking run through it.
Yeah.
He's different, and it worked, I guess. But,
It did work. A little bit of lack of quality. Let's talk a little bit about Dan James. Probably the biggest shock in the team. What do you make of his overall performance?
I think we're poor. I think you can call it anything but poor. And I think that's not to say that everyone else had a great game. I thought Marcus was poor. Shaw was poor. Going forward, at least, he didn't really have a lot to do defensively. I thought Mason was poor. I thought Bruno was poor. I thought the whole attacking quartet, Sintuplet or whatever the fuck it's called. I thought they were all poor. But I think Dan James was the bottom of that list. I think
he is useful, Dan James, in certain games. But I think today, with Leeds sitting back a little bit, just kind of nullified any kind of threat he had. He drew a few fouls.
Not only that, they went in physical and hard on him as well.
Yeah, they just completely nullified him. Moving on from that, do you think there was maybe a little eye on midweek now? I think the game against City versus Villa last week, no one got giddy, but there was a thought. That could be 5.
People had it on alerts, didn't they?
Yeah.
Let me just see how that game goes.
Yeah.
We weren't going to anyway.
Yeah. But there was a thought. If today was to go to 5 points, I think everyone kind of went, there's something to play for there. But because that didn't happen, I think that's gone now. I think we are now 3 points away from guaranteeing Champions League football. I said this to Jay before the game. It feels weird celebrating, even having any kind of celebrating Champions League football after this week, doesn't it? Like the top 4 thing now just seems
we go, hey, we got it, and you go, but our board didn't want it.
No, they wanted more than that. They wanted it to be guaranteed. So it's just
wankers.
It's a bit of a mad one. But
we
are 3
this
points away
week
from
and
that.
last week's football has taken a complete backseat to the absolute carnage off the field.
Yep.
Really, and maybe it should at times.
It definitely should. I think that I said today, if last week hadn't happened, I think you've been going to United, you know what, we need 4 points to guarantee Champions League football. I think that would have been kind of a storyline. I think they've been building up to that because that good season for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. But when it comes back to it, you'll kind of look back at what football is and you kind of go, it's United versus Leeds and there's no fans there. There's no one doing that. It's not really a game that anyone's excited for. It's a bit damp, and I think that this whole week's kind of summed that up, and I think the game today
the most excitement we've had this week was Tuesday night and yesterday afternoon.
Yep, it was. There was
people were way more up for all of that than the 90 minutes that have bookended the week.
Yeah, no one's really cared about the football. I think we've seen it all this week.
Maybe that changes Thursday night with Roma because semi-final. That's your do or die moment, and that's when you have to start taking competition serious. United have phoned one in We're very Chelsea, in case
Yeah,
I was... Who was that, Steve? We should have beat Sevilla. We were very unlucky in that, and we were twatted by City. That was a 3 last year. This year, what do we have?
Twatted by City. Not twatted. We got beat by City comfortably in the cup.
So
I think this is to be honest, this is probably the easiest semi-final. This is the one we've got. Sorry, let me rephrase it. This is the one we go into. We should win this one.
Yeah,
United Chelsea is the 50-50. City are obviously a much better team than us, and then you look at Sevilla and go, there's no guarantees. They've won it 400 times the Europa League, so there's no guarantees with them. Whereas Roma, you look at that and go, we should beat them. And that is the first semi-final we've got with that, because a lot of people are saying United have bottled semi-finals. That, for me, hasn't been the case.
No, it wasn't the case.
But I think if you don't have a performance this week and next week...
It becomes a thing then.
Then it becomes a thing. So, yeah, big performance needed.
And then,
this week.
let's hopefully try and get Arsenal on the other side. Arsenal are so fucking bad. It's embarrassing we haven't taken more points off them this year.
So it'd be good to
I'd
spank
love
them in the
to
final.
dick them in a final. Yeah,
absolutely. So that's coming up next week. We've got all sorts. We've got Europa League next week. We've then got United Liverpool playing next week. Have you heard about that?
Mad that.
It's mad. That is next week. So we've
Fully
got
mad.
build up to all those games as well as the usual.
I've got a thread to keep going, lads. So Ollie, play the fucking game, lad.
Come on, mate. Let's get this done.
Right, before we get off, we've just got a quick notice. Put the graphic on. Right, Stretford Paddock FC. If you think you've got what it takes to come and play for Stretford Paddock FC next year, 3 men's teams will be featuring for Stretford Paddock FC. If you think you've looked at our videos and go, fucking better than them.
You're better than me.
Come and prove it then, fuckface. Come and prove it. Tuesday night, Turn Moss, 6 till 7:30. Come and show you what you got. Come show us what you got. Laters.